other day, we were having a conversation in one of the classes, right? And we were talking about when we were kids and how some of our parents used to force us to come into rooms and greet people. I remember sharing how I felt really uncomfortable about that, right? There was this uncle of mine who used to say when I walked into the doors of his place, and he used to say to me, "Oye, ¿qué, vivimos juntos?" So in other words, he would say, "What, we live together?" And then I would be thinking to myself, "No, I live with my mom." And then he would say, "Saluda!" He would yell at me. He would tell me, like, salute me, say hello, greet me, right? And I think about that, like, at that time I remember being annoyed by it, but I think about this place, right? And a lot of times we hear the story of how you came to this place and how you walked in through these doors. It's a common thing. People say, "I walked in through these doors," right? And you hear that a lot here at Homeboy. And in the classrooms that we teach, we hear the stories of how people ended up in this place, how they met G, for example. They'll say stuff like, "Oh, I know G from the projects," or "I know G from camp," or "I know G from Dolores Mission," or "I even know G when he was on his bike riding around." Like, there's connections with G. And other people heard through the grapevine, right? Like, "Oh, I knew some guy that told me about Homeboy, and then one day I was on the train and I saw it and I got off and I came here and I walked through those doors," right? And then, or you'll hear a story like this one, right? That there was a gentleman that works here now that he said he was, it was during the Thanksgiving break a few years ago, and he was on the train and he ran into this guy, and the guy told him, the guy had a Homeboy shirt on, and the guy told him, "Hey homie, you should come with me. I'm going to this place. I'm going to Homeboy Industries, and this place can help you." And they came, but Homeboy was closed during that time, right? So he was like, they made this whole long trip. He ended up here, they kind of talked a little bit, and they kind of went about their ways. And that planted something in his mind that this was a place that would help him, right? Fortunately, shortly after that, he got busted. And he ended up doing another year. When he got out, he said, I knew all along that I was going to walk through those doors. So those words again, right? Walk through those doors. But what does it mean, right? Well, it means different things to different people, because everybody walks through those doors in a different way. There's some similarities, but in a different way. And so I go back to that story, right, about saluda, greet, say hello. I think that one of the things that happens here on the surface, right, is that we salute each other, we say hello to each other, right? But I think on a deeper level, right, is what we do is we see one another, right? We were at a training this past Friday, and the trainer was talking about "I see you," right? The concept of "I see you," and we see one another. And I think that when we come here, right, my suspicion is that we start seeing each other, right? We start seeing who we are. We start seeing that light that we carry, those gifts that we give one another. We start seeing that. And that's why people keep coming back here, right? On the surface, we think it's because of the classes or the free tattoo removal, and those things are all important, very important, right? They're needed, right? But I think that once you feel that you've been seen, I think that's what makes the difference, right? Being seen is important, and being seen touches that part of you that changes you, it changes your life, it gives you hope, right? It gives you that hope. And I say to myself, every day when I wake up, I'm going to work, right? And I feel seen here. Right? I feel seen here, and I see people here. We see one another, right? We never see each other the same way again, because what we see, again, is who we really are. It's that love. And Maya Angelou said that love liberates, right? I really believe that. Right? What happens to us here is that we liberate ourselves from everything that we carry, from everything that we've experienced, and we're seen for who we really are. So I wanted to share those words with you. I thank you very much, and take the time to see one another.